Hi everybody, I hope you all had a great weekend and enjoyed the Super Bowl if you were watching that last night. A subscriber sent me an email asking about the Ruby Princess as they'll be sailing on it this summer and was wondering if I could do a video on it. And so yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do right after this. So as we look here at the Ruby Princess, you can't help but see some striking resemblances to the Caribbean Princess, the ship that I was on not too long ago. And that's because they're almost identical in every way, except the Ruby Princess has just a couple things that the Caribbean Princess didn't have. So let's get into what we're going on right now. Basically, the design of the ship is almost 100% exactly the same, from the top decks to the interior areas to the restaurants. The good thing about the Ruby Princess right now is she also has those luxury beds, which are so comfortable to sleep in and really are one of the reasons to take a Princess cruise, because you don't have any hard mattresses or super soft mattresses. These are really, really comfortable mattresses that you would have for your own home. The Ruby itself launched in 2008, so this is its 10-year anniversary, and back in 2015 in December, so very late, it went under its refurbishment, and that's when it got the luxury beds and some free some uptones and things like that. So it's not quite as refreshing to look at as you're walking around as, say, the Caribbean Princess, as it was done in late 2017, but it's still fairly new and it still has a lot of shine, and it's not run down in any way. As on any Princess cruise ship, you're going to find the standards of the restaurants. You're going to get the Crown Grill, where you can choose your steak and what you're going to have, and it's a signature restaurant on board. You can go to the chef's table. You have the Salty Dog, which is their version of Guy Ferrero's kind of burgers on Carnival that you'll see around. So those big, thick, juicy hamburgers. So yeah, that's at the Salty Dog. They have the Crab Shack. It's still called the Crab Shack last time I checked. And you can also get their ultimate balcony dining, in which a server will come up and they'll lay out your table outside on your balcony, and you can have a champagne dinner, or you can have breakfast, champagne breakfast if you so choose. So that might be something you want to do if you have a special occasion and you just want to be by yourselves, that you could order and have that delivered to your veranda stateroom. And yes, it's only available if you have a balcony. That's why they call it the ultimate balcony. Now, one thing that the Ruby has that the Caribbean Princess didn't have is Chef Curtis Stone's restaurant at sea, Share. And I was kind of disappointed that it didn't have that on board when I went there, but the Ruby Princess has it, and it gets rave reviews from everybody who dines there. So right now on Cruise Critic, it's 4.5 out of 5 stars, which is an amazing score for a restaurant on a cruise ship. Now, just like the Caribbean Princess, you're going to have your adults only area. You're going to have a little pool you can go by yourselves and be away from the crowd. You have plenty of deck space up top, so you can spread out. You don't have to get crowded around the pool. If you just want to go up and sun someplace, there's places you can go, and there's always a place that you can find to get there by yourselves. There's plenty of hot tubs around. There's plenty of pools. There's the children's areas. Now, there's no slides on board because, quite frankly, Princess isn't known for doing things like that. So the kids area is basically a splash in the pool, and that's about it. Plus there are kids clubs and things like that. Of course, they come with a small putting green that you can go up and practice your putting. There's foosball tables around. There's ping pong tables around that you can enjoy. They have a small basketball court up top that you can play on. Of course, there's always the signature Movies Under the Stars with a big television screen, which is one of my favorite things to do later in the evening when most people are heading down to bed and to relax in their staterooms. I like to go up top and watch a different movie every single night that they have. As far as entertaining is gonna go, you have the piazza. There's always different kinds of entertainment down there. Sometimes there'll be a small orchestra group. There may be a piano player playing. Once in a while you have some singers that'll come up. So there's always a little bit of entertainment going on in the Piazza area. You have the big, huge showroom, which has all kinds of guest appearances, who might be somebody from Cirque du Soleil. It might be a signature singer, or it could be just one of the host show performances that they put on Princess Cruise Lines. And those are actually very fun to go to. So I would recommend taking in some of the shows, even if you're not a show person. I always say this, give it a try. Try one night, try 2 nights. Who knows? You might just get hooked. So as I was saying, the food on board on the Ruby Princess, they have the soft serve ice cream, you have pizza, you have burgers. There's all kinds of things. The buffet is great. They have a different choice every night. They rotate items, where some cruise lines I've been on will have basically the same items almost every single night. So I like a variety, and people say, oh, well, I don't eat in the buffet, but you know what? 10 o'clock at night, you just come out of a show and you feel like getting something. You don't have to order room service. You just stop by the buffet, grab a couple things on your plate and bring it back to your stateroom. So it's nice to have a big choice. Or even sitting up on deck and you're saying, instead of heading off to a restaurant and everything, you just feel like having some pineapple slices or, a roll with some butter on it. Just walk into the buffet and bring it back out to your chair. So the buffet does count. Even if you don't think you're going to use it, you just might. Another thing I always like to check in is, what are the reviews of the staff? And Princess Cruises has one of the better staff, especially your restaurant staff, the people serving you drinks up on decks, the attendants in the staterooms, the spa service. All those attendants get top-notch all the time on their cruises, and the Ruby is no exception. And I think Princess Cruise Line as a whole is one of my favorite for hiring and training their staff in politeness, courtesy, and getting the job done without interfering with the guests as much as possible. Now, people always have different issues, and they always say, well, when I go to guest services, it's a lot more harder down there. So let me give you some advice. If you have to deal with guest services, myself, I had to deal with guest services on my last cruise 3 times. And you just go in with a smile, talk calmly to people, and explain your situation, and 99 times out of 100, it'll get fixed and resolved with no issues. If you go in there with an attitude and a pounding on the table kind of thing and slamming yourself and you guys are doing this and you guys are doing this and you're going to get nowhere, especially if you start to raise your voice. So I am going to give you that warning. Never ever start yelling at somebody at guest services, because before you know it, you won't be in guest services anymore. Security will take you away. And that goes for any cruise line. They do not take verbal abuse of their staff in any way. But I guarantee you, if you just go down there with a nice, pleasant demeanor and a smile on your face, almost every single time, things will get resolved to your liking. Just a tip from somebody who's been on 86 cruises now. And lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to a fellow YouTuber and fellow cruiser, Lalita Loca. I'm going to leave their link down below. They're a small channel just starting out, and they're very entertaining to watch and listen to. They're a subscriber of this channel, and I subscribe to them as well. And if you're looking for some more things on just some topics about cruising and things like that, give them a check out. They're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers to help with their YouTube channel and all the stuff that goes on with YouTube. I won't bore you with that stuff, but it would really help them out if you like their channel, if you could subscribe to them. And yeah, you might have another channel to follow about cruising, because we all love to talk about cruising. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, you have yourself a safe and a great vacation.